Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We are going to go ahead and do another Skey game here. I absolutely loved that Terran vs. Zerg that he put out against Soma despite losing on the previous day. If you have not seen that yet, I'm sorry for the spoiler, but really, really good game. Very fun, good style, I think. Just appreciative of that, and it's great to have Skey now making it into ASL. I'm excited to see if he can become a regular or not. It's a difficult thing. He is going to be going up here against Killer, who's been in plenty of ASLs and is in fact in this ASL as well, and they're going to be playing on Eclipse, which is in this ASL, so very, very nice. I think Eclipse is probably a little bit Terran favored overall. Pretty hard for Zerg to get that fourth base up, but I think there are really good strategies for Zerg to go for. Like, honestly, I think the best strategy on this map might be, well, I think that there are strategies like Crazy Zerg that can be used on any map if you do them correctly, like if you take a quick third type thing. But if you specifically remember back, there was like this build that Sulky did a long time ago. I think it was maybe against JYJ in like the first season he won, where he went like 3 base, heavy hatchery, and just did like an insane Defiler push. He actually happened to have Guardians in that push too, which was really funny. But I don't think you necessarily need to do that. But I think like 3 base really mass units into a really strong Defiler-based push with like Hydra Lurker, Defiler, Zergling can be really, really good here. It's just like the distance is not that much. It's really hard to stop it up each lane. So anyways, I just kind of like a side thought about Eclipse in general in this matchup. Now, this drone from Killer has been pretty insane. The fact that he had 3 SCVs down there for a while is ouch. But he is trying to get the wall in up. That's one of the annoying things about walling in on a 2-player map is the drone can come up and actually cause you a lot of problems. Like that is a fair amount of mining time lost. You know, from the drone just coming up and kind of scouting and doing some harassment. Not the end of the world, obviously, and it prevents you from having to build a bunker later on, something like that. So, you know, there's definitely ups and downs to it. Now, the Marine going to pop out. There is an Overlord down here. That's one of the big things you want to do with your early Marines on Eclipse is hunt for this Overlord. You know, even if you make it in your main base, if you rally right down, the Overlord, if it was clicked over here, you can actually catch it just before it gets up there. But Zergs know that, so they just like kind of alter the flight path. You could see the drone kind of checking like, oh, the Marines are going to be coming out anyways. So he takes the Overlord that was like up here and sends it down into a position where you can't really get it. And, you know, by this time you have Lings about to hatch. So like if these Marines try to stay out here, there's a chance Lings come up and actually end up killing them. You can see he's looking hard for it. And he actually does end up finding it here. Does Killer... I don't think he actually quite has time to punish this. That's painful. He got a little bit too greedy. He brought it down. He's like, no way, they're not still out here. And then sends to the side, and the SCV of Skey kind of recognizes. The thing is, if you made 6 Lings here, you could easily run up and kill all this. He made 4, which, like, 4 against 4 is, like, pretty even. Has to do with micro. The Terran should be able to win that, so, like, you're kind of avoiding it. It just kind of matters if you get on top of them or not. But, yeah, that's... Gets a single Marine there, but not any real scouting going on. It is going to be a very fast +1 build. There's the Academy coming up as well, so a really heavy bio build will be coming out. Lots of Lings being made. That's a lot of Lings from Killer. This is a little bit wild because you should not be going mass Lings against this because it's a wall. So, like, to put this into perspective, if he has an SCV on hold position here in front of the Marines, this is never breakable. As is, probably still not breakable, but there's no vision. You never know. Sometimes the Terran player will walk out with the Marines to try to pressure, and that would obviously be fatal. Additional barracks on the way. This will be another barracks as well. Just checking the front of the wall. He doesn't want to show off how many Lings he has. Notice he keeps a normal-sized group here. And he keeps the rest back. And now with the medic here, this is basically unbreakable. Like, even if you cut through this one Marine that'll be healed, the medic can just kind of block as well, and you're never going to kill through a medic. It has a base armor, so it's just not going to happen. So he's got all these lings that are not useful. His drone count is really, really low. And if you recall the game against Soma where we went pool first, it's like at least Soma had a quick Spire to follow up with to try to get some damage. This is just normal Spire. So you can see up here for Skey, like he's done this very kind of greedy build where +1 is already over halfway done. He's got stim. He's getting range still. Oh, and he came out of his wall. That is hilarious. Well, he wanted to pressure pretty bad. And now he's paying for it. But he's not going to die from this, but this is obviously pretty good for Killer. More Marines are going to pop out, and oh my god, he's actually killing a fair amount of SCVs. So, it's a funny thing. It's like, you do have to try to pressure your opponent, but he had no intel for a really, really long time. Man, that... the fact that he walked down, Killer's still got value. I honestly wasn't even looking for that because I'm like, I don't know, man. You already got the Overlord. A lot of times when you get the Overlord, Zerg does something cheesy to try to catch up. Killer has his third base up, so that trade was good for Killer for sure because those Zerglings just weren't going to do anything for him. He's going to get a bit of a scout. Seeing those 3 racks there, he's going to know it's a very fast +1. So... yeah, we're actually in like a pretty normal position, I would say, right now. Like it's, well, not exactly normal, but I guess a pretty even position is a better way to put it. Like Skey, his factory is going to be pretty darn late, and his actual Bioforce, like if he hadn't lost that, he would actually have critical mass with +1 to move out right now, and you'd have to make Sunkens basically as Killer. Now, Killer, we don't know what additional tech he wants to do. Sometimes, in a situation like this, you'll see a Zerg throw down an evolution chamber and start getting carapace upgrades quickly. That's not what he's going for here. He's really focusing on Mutalisk count, and he's actually getting +1 flyer attack. So that doesn't really tell us what's up. It doesn't feel like it's a very fast layer. Is he going to go into Lurker from here? Is he going to try to do a Mutalisk all-in? I don't think a Mutalisk all-in has any real chance here. Like, this natural is not that bad for defending against mutas. The other one is much worse. Ooh, loses quite a bit there. Not looking too good for Killer. Okay, Hydralisk Den coming up. Okay, so we're starting to get a picture of what's going on. He is going to go towards Lurkers now. He's going to have to stay very active with the mutas to keep Skey back, because he doesn't want to make a bunch of sunks. Like, he will need at least a couple, but you don't really want to make those right now. So if he can get into Lurkers defending, you know, the starports are not super, super fast. So it'll take a little bit for the tech units of Skey to come out and start trying to punish a little bit. I think this is going to have to be like a mass unit 3-base type of game. I don't see any reason why... Killer should be able to take a 4th base easily. That should be like the point of contention that we're looking at. Skey stimming up. Ooh, he actually catches those mutas coming back. I'm not sure why Killer was rotating them back, but that nice stim, he did kind of catch them. Kind of funny having a muta right there. I think he's just watching for the potential of a sneak around move with Marines. Queen's Nest finishing, so we'll see if that's going to be a very fast hive or not. Yeah, there it is. That's a very fast, well, it's not a very fast hive, but like he gets it right away, which is obviously what you want to do here. Science facility on the way. Skey just putting on some pretty heavy pressure. Really good drone count right now for Killer. I would like to see an additional sunken up here. Like he's going for 1. I really feel like he should have gone for 2 here. And he's going for 0 here. So he seems to think that it's not a problem to get his Lurkers out before the Bioforce gets there. And here's the thing. I think he's technically right, but if you pushed really hard with this right now, I think you have to trade a lot of mutas to stop it, to slow it down enough. But you know what? It doesn't happen. So, you know, maybe a slight risk there from Killer. But he's going to get his lurkers up. He's got this single sunk in. He's going to get more lurkers up at his natural. So it seems like everything's okay for him. More bioforces coming down. I'm surprised he doesn't have one sunk over here. Like, you can go just pure lurker defense, but one sunken actually screws up AI if they try to, like, stim and spread. Okay, he's making two. He's making two. So, like, yeah. That just makes this position much harder to break. Like, if you had Marines only attacking lurkers, you could break 4 here, maybe. But with the 2 sunkens, it's going to, like, suck in damage there, and he has the mutas. No, what? Really? Oh, my God, he's going to break it. That +1 armor doing so much for him here. Oh my God. Sunken's just not ready at the beginning of that. He does have some more lurkers that are being made, and he has more bioforces coming up. More lurkers come up for the burrow, but Skey is going to be able to scan and target those down really, really quickly. And just barely Killer's going to live through this. Just barely. But this is... Like I said, this is part of why you want the sunkens there. And you don't actually... Like, he had the lurkers here. You built the sunkens behind. Generally, what it is you'll have a sunken, like, here. And the lurkers will be, like, next to it, maybe. And that just kind of gives you the best defensive formation. So, more sunkens being made. 2 of his lurkers get irradiated here. He should attack in just at the very second this one's dying. That's going to give him the best chance of winning. Yeah. So, he takes, like, one row of spines there. And... Like, the Sunkens are trying their best here. Okay, he gets one of the vessels, which is pretty good. But he's just having such a hard time holding on. Now, one thing I want to mention, because I definitely see the discussion of it sometimes in the comments of these videos where it's like, well, why didn't he just make a sunk? And it's like, yes, you are right. Like, he should have made a sunken here or 2 sunkens. And then he'd have like 10 lurkers right now and still have 8 mutas, and obviously that would be good. But you're always trying to play on the very edge of everything. It's just like by definition when you're doing something competitively at the highest level. Like if you're just doing something kind of for fun and getting like pretty good, like you can do things like play safe and stuff like that. But you do have to get good at playing on the edge to be like an ASL level competitor, right? To be you want to be in the NFL or the NBA or whatever. Like you really do have to push yourself in any competitive venture when you're up at the top of the world, because if you're not going to push yourself, other people are, and they're gonna be able to get those little bits of extra greed out. And obviously, you know, looking at this game, it's like, well, 100% should he have had those sunks? Yes. But yeah, you have to kind of take that into consideration too, what these guys are trying to do. Okay, so Skey is very close to just breaking through here, but it's such a difficult, tiny ramp. These reverse ramps are really hard to run up. I can't believe that's his 3rd base. That's crazy. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if he, like, misclicked an SCV over there and just decided, or maybe this is actually a place. Maybe he's like, there could be lings here. I don't even want to deal with that. I just want to make a command center. I don't know. I've never seen anyone take that as the 3rd. Mutas are actually going to find it, so that's annoying. That's really annoying. Oh! Never mind. My bad. We were watching the attack so much. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So he does have that 3rd base going. He just wanted a 4th base at basically the same time here. So some Ling Lurker Defiler running around the side, and you can see Killer is in a bad spot. Yeah, look at this, like 70 supply right here. So he's like, as we saw, right? Like he's just on the brink of not holding anything. Little radiate on that Overlord. That was really, really good. He got a lot of drones right there. Okay, so Skey is going to have 4 bases. And like, okay, this is a very good move. Like sometimes when you're really behind, this is like one of the best things you can do is just like run stuff around and try to get Dark Storms in your opponent's natural. He needs one more and he's gonna get it. Yeah, one more. Throw it down. Oh, he actually, that's a funny position. If he had thrown it forward a little bit, it would have been a little bit better, but it looks like some radiates go down here. Honestly, when you get into a position like this, you should make sure that you're making a lot of fire bats, just in case something like this occurs. And like, you know, they're making a lot of lings anyway, so it's not going to be terrible. He's got a couple additional macro hatches, which is good to see. But again, right on the brink of defeat here. All right, nothing left under that Dark Swarm. Definitely going to want to kind of zone units out a little bit better. He's got a little group here. Nothing really at his third. Dude, he's showing up with the Dark Swarms. This is like when, TVZ or ZVT, whatever you want to say. Okay, looks like you had a little pause there. But if you show up at a base with Dark Swarm, it just kind of has to lift. Like you can't really do too much. You have to like kind of wait for the Dark Storm to go away. Maybe throw some irradiates down, bring your army up, clear it. But it costs like a lot of mining time, which is why you kind of need to zone everything out in the matchup. All right, little counterattack coming up. It's just Mutaling and okay, so that was a weird ending to that game. I just want to see this again. So he asked PP. My gut here is that he actually had to go, like something happened. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe it was dinner time, his pizza was delivered. I don't really know. Because he's actually winning here, I would say. So, like, he GG's out, and that's the end of the game. But, you know, everyone's had games like this where, like, even if you're winning, you're like, oh, shit, I gotta go. You know, I've had games where a kid pukes and I'm winning and I'm like, well, that sucks. But, you know, I don't know exactly what Skey's situation was, but looking at this, like, Killer doesn't really have a lot going on. And there's plenty of vessels here. He's not going to die to this. You know, he's got bioforces coming over. Yeah, there's a Defiler coming. But it seems to me like probably something came up. So we're gonna just chalk this up to undecided. But I think you saw some good play here out of Skey for sure. Definitely an exciting player to watch this season. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.